everybody, and welcome. Today's video, we're just going to do the one project because it's not involved, but it's involved. So because it's messy, it's a messy one, so it's going to take us a little bit of time. We're going to be using some concrete again, so some quick setting cement actually. So it's called, I use the Quickcrete, and I've had good use with it. I'd already purchased this. If you haven't seen it already, when we did earlier in the season rhubarb leaf bowls using the cement. So today, because I really like the look of cement pumpkins, that I thought we'd try and make some of our own. So the first thing that we're gonna do is mix up some cement. And I want to make a couple of them, so I think I need a bit of this stuff. So I have a bit of a spoon in here, and I'm in the shop, so I don't have any fancy cement mixing tools or anything. I got a plastic bucket and a wooden spoon. So that should be great because you probably don't have anything special either. Last time I did this, I started with the dry and then I added the water, and I ended up with big lumps and lots of it on the bottom, and it all kind of set up too fast on me. I mean, it still worked with the upper half, but I started with the liquid first, and I thought that I could stir a bunch of it up here. And then when it starts getting full, I'll have 2 containers going. So it's already prepared. Just because I think that I want to make 3 or 4 of these guys, because if they work, then I'm gonna like them, and I don't want to wish that I made more later. Always my plan. Now, so here's the thing. I've seen some of these done with just the pumpkin part. I thought it might be cool to try doing some concrete embellishments with it. I've got small little cut wooden sticks that I'm going to use as the stem or the peduncle, which is kind of a fun word. But I also thought that maybe it might be cool to do some leaves. So I have some leaves, and maybe do some little curly viney things. So what I did do was I covered some markers in plastic wrap, and I covered some tin cans with plastic wrap. So I'm gonna lay the leaves on this, I'm gonna wrap these in a spiral, and I've got a little bit of twine. So I'm going to put on some plastic gloves. And before my concrete, cement, concrete has the rocks, right? So cement, before it gets too hard, I want to do my little embellishments first, because I'm going to want it thicker for my other things. So I'm going to take my string, coat it in the cement, and I'm going to try wrapping it around in a semi-attractive way around my, okay, that actually worked out okay. It hasn't set. We don't know what it's gonna be like when it's set, but we'll see. So I'm just thinking that if this is coated in concrete, that maybe it will dry and look sort of concrete. So my little strings are done. Let's see if we can manage to do a leaf. I'm just kind of letting it float on the top, and I want to shake it out a little bit. And then I thought that I'd lay it out on my tin so that it got a little bit of a curvature to it. So I'm just kind of sitting it on top and then poking it with my stick to just get it semi-submerged. And then grabbing it by a leaf, shaking little tip, shaking it out. And then I'll put it off to the side to dry. All right, so what I have is some nylons. Now I got these from the dollar store, so I cut it apart. You could just use the little knee highs. They didn't have them for some reason, so they just had the full nylons. So I cut off the toe part, and then I cut part of the leg off, and I just put an elastic band around the bottom so that it was set. And I've got a bunch of other elastic bands, which I forgot that I would need. And what we are going to do is kind of hold this open and drop a bunch of our concrete in there. Sorry, our cement. So we're spooning it in. And you're just going to want to add as much as you need to make the size of pumpkin that you want. I think I'm going to go with all of it. All right. And then when you have it full, just kind of tie it off. Now, I know that doesn't look like a pumpkin, but I'm gonna let that kind of sit and sort of firm up a little bit while we fill up another one. All right, now you can see this one's already kind of firming up a little bit. And here's where we want to start to shape it a little bit. So we're going to take an elastic band and we're just going to kind of take it from the top to the bottom. So you can see it starts to squish it in and make some of those distinctive kind of pumpkin-y grooves. So what I'm planning is 3 elastics per pumpkin. So kind of angling them around in that sort of threesome little look. Look at that, that looks sort of pumpkin-y, guys. All right, now the other thing is I have just some little sticks that I'm just gonna kind of squish down in there. Not because it's gonna stick in there, but I'm hoping that maybe it at least takes a little bit of the stick shape, so maybe dries with a bit of an impression of the stick that allows me to glue it down into it a little bit, at least. So, again, with the elastics. And these are slightly bigger elastics on this one just because it's a slightly bigger pumpkin. And just sort of adjust them as you need to. No, over this way. Okay, and one more. It is now time to check on the progress of our pumpkins, and I have to say I am very excited. So, I didn't want the extra parts of the nylon to be hanging, getting stuck to the pumpkin, so I just draped them up over the containers that I had used for them, and they are well cemented. So we are going to attempt to unwrap these, and I'm saying attempt because I don't quite see how you do it, but let's try taking off some elastics first. So I'm just trying to cut them where I see them available. And I'm thinking, here we go. I'm thinking that knot, it's loose, so I should be able to get down into it, but I'm thinking I need my X-Acto knife. All right, so I've got my box cutter. I'm not too concerned whether the nylons come off or not because it's actually quite a nice texture and I don't mind that. And since we pretty much, I've just got one other piece of elastic here. If I get the elastics out and the knot off, then I'm thinking I'm pretty much good to go. And even the elastic, if I can't see it, I don't care. All right. So we just want that knot off because it's a little unsightly. Okay, perfect. A little bit of an elastic. Oh, and now you can peel off the nylon. Once you get it started. Okay, you guys, how stinking cute are these? Whew. So it's just a simple matter of cutting off that knot and then getting all of the nylon goop off. But I'll show you how that looks. Look at that, isn't that cute? Okay, so that's super cute. I'm gonna play with the others to be able to show. Now, the next thing is the decorating. We had done some concrete leaves. I'm just lifting these ones up because they were just fine, and a couple of the spirals. So here's one of our spirals on that plastic wrap. And they do just kind of slide right off. So they're actually still kind of flexible, so they're not too stiff. I was thinking, no, I wouldn't be able to use them because I thought they'd be too fragile. But the rope still works. The leaves, however, seem pretty delicate. And I'm not sure, although look at the look of that. That looks really good. The problem is going to be, okay, where's the leaf that I don't want? And let's take a look. So, look at how easy those are to break. Those are gonna be, those I think are gonna be way too fragile to use. I mean, it's fine to do it if it was just, so look, like that just cracked all up. Fine to use it if it was just as a decor piece, don't ever touch it. But, yeah, I'm thinking that if I glue those leaves in place, that they are going to just end up crumbling, and it's going to end up being a craft that never gets used again. So I think that's fail on the concrete leaves and things. I think because we use the natural wood, that what I'm gonna do is unmold these pumpkins. I'm just rescuing my markers here. So I'm gonna pass on using the leaves, and so I don't think it makes sense to use the spirals. And what I will do is look at, oh, my big fans are blowing everything around here. I'll just anchor them with concrete leaves. So I'm gonna rescue the rest of my pumpkins and get off all this little picky nylon and wash off a bit of my stems. And then I will come back at you with some other little decor items that we can use to be able to decorate these up. But you guys, I love these little pumpkins. It was a messy craft, so I will admit it was a messy craft, but I'm looking at them right now and so worth it, so worth it. So I'm gonna get these cleaned up and I will come back at you with a bunch of stuff in my glue gun and we will see about decorating them up and finishing them off. But I'm digging them.